Greetings, greetings, and welcome to my very special Purple Portal. This is your host, the somewhat reluctant mystic, Elaine Bartlett, and I'm so delighted to spend this hour with you. I hope you've all survived the week. It was a very interesting few days in South Florida, and indeed our dear weather report supported a lot of change for people. That's what a hurricane's about. It's about the essence of change. It's about Mama, the big Mama, stirring you up. So we're going to be talking about that today. And I tell you, I've been kind of looking at my own title, The Reluctant Mystic. Actually, I'm kind of enjoying being who I am, which is a mystic. So I think I'm going to drop being so reluctant. Probably as you, I've been reluctant about many things most of my life. Most particularly about just being me. Living my own design. I think from the cradle, people are trying to change our design and coax us out of being me. And then our me gets kind of scrambled. But the real me is absolutely pure awareness. And that's the real you. We're going to talk about that today, too. But first, we got to look at some things here. Indeed, we're still under the sign of Libra, requesting that you embrace harmony and balance. If you do embrace it, good. If you can't embrace it, so be it. The only downside of not embracing it is that you're going to feel like your own feathers are being stroked the reverse way of the way that's comfortable for your feathers. And if you can think of, stroking something the wrong way, it kind of literally goes against the grain of things. So consider the idea of embracing harmony versus disharmony. But again, it's all kind of thought, and wherever you want to stand in it, that's okay. I do encourage you today to call in with your thoughts and questions. I actually posted that right before I left home to drive here on my Facebook. So call in today. We're going to be talking a lot about feng shui and how the storm actually was designed to stir up your feng shui, your inner feng shui, as well as your household. So the number is 321-806-3159. 321-806-3159. And if you're too shy to call in, you can easily reach me at my my email address, Purple Portal, Purple, Portal, Portal, and then 3 7s in a row. So Purple Portal 777 at gmail.com. I did give that address out last week. I must confess, because I am not exactly computer literate, I have no idea how to tap into that and see if anyone actually tried to get me. I will be checking with my absolutely marvelous computer genius up in New York State. I'm sure she'll have the answer to that. Speaking of computer geniuses, if you folks need anything creative done, a website, your business cards, I have the most really heavenly, ethical, honorable source for that. So don't be shy. Give me a call for that one too. So once again, to reach me here at the studio today, live on October 11th, 321-806-3159, or my Gmail that's connected to reach me very nicely, purpleportal777 at gmail.com. Yom Kippur is this evening. I believe it is the most solemn day in the Hebrew understandings and belief system, a day of really tuning in and atoning and kind of giving it all up. which I'm suspecting more and more is all we have to do about anything, is give it up. If you're going to feel a whole lot lighter by giving it up, so give it up. So to everyone who is honoring that special evening tonight and tomorrow, I am with you in thought and consciousness. All right, so I want to give you a little story that went through my mind. I can't tell you how many times over these past few days of sort of hurricane activity down in South Florida here and all along the coast. I received an email as I was coming in here today from a dear friend in North Carolina. Lots of people there have been affected and, have been without power and water and flooding conditions. But here's the little parable, and I actually shared this with several people over these few days, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So here's how it goes. There was a very, very devout and holy man walking on the pathway to some city in captivity. And as he was walking, he noticed a creature coming toward him, and he filled with dread because he recognized the being. And the being was called Death. So finally, Death caught up to him on the trail, and this humble good man shook in his boots and said, "Death, where are you going?" And Death said, "I'm going to the village right up around the bend." And this humble good man said, "Oh, how many souls will you be taking?" And Death said, "I am told I must take 500 souls. And of course, this holy man blessed himself and beat his chest and, "Oh, dreadful, this is so terrible. And, may the gods be with you on your assignment to take 500 people." And so Death went on its way. A few days later, down the same pathway, the humble holy man is still walking, and he sees Death approaching him, and Death is looking ashen and shaking his head with great chagrin and almost sorrow, if Death could actually feel sorrow. And the humble man said to him, "Well, what happened?" And Death said, 5,000 people left. And the holy man said, "But your assignment was only to take 500. What have you done?" And Death said, "I did take 500. Fear took the rest of them." And that's a wonderful story, and it's true. And I could see it with ones I loved and friends and neighbors around me. Fear took them. And not only that, the worst part of it was they forgot that nothing can live without energy. It just has to drop away. If you have a great idea for a business and you don't energize it, well, the business can't flourish. If you fall in love with someone and you don't energize it, the relationship's going to die. Well, the same with a storm. But what happens is it's almost in reverse. So the newscasters who make their living on fear, this is what sells news, they beat it into people down here ceaselessly. You couldn't go anywhere without your heart racing and terror being pumped into you. They fed the storm. And I must say, people fed it as well, because they took that fear, ran to the stores, nothing left on the shelves. Heaven forbid you actually needed a container of water. It wasn't there because fear had people stockpiling it. So the simple, ordinary things that make life run smoothly, they were in shortage thanks to fear. So what does someone like myself do in a case like a storm? I really do pretty much the opposite of what people do. I listen to the news so sparingly that I can't even tell you, and mostly not at all. I was very, very thankful when everything went out because I thought, great, now I can't even get a sense of it's 3 more hours, it's 2 more hours. It's none of my business how long Mother Nature wants to wave her magic wand of change. So in this case, and this was a very different thing because in the old days, I tell you, I would be one who would say, okay, let's ask this storm to go out to sea. I absolutely did not do that. I absolutely sat there and loved it. In my mind, although it was a Matthew, a he, to me it felt more like a she. So it was probably closer that it had no sex. It was a shim. It was a bow. It was everything. And I just sat there and I loved the essence of it. The pure presence of it is the pure presence of me. It's one and the same thing. So why would I push it away? Why would I not embrace more of me? I'm really done with duality. It's not serving me at all. It's still serving many of you, and I get that. But boy, some of us have walked that walk way too long. We're just tired of it. So in my embracing of it, I kind of saw the humor of it, the deliciousness of it, the what she was doing of it. Because, man, all the trees around me got a pruning that they've actually needed for a very long time. Some people needed to bond with others more carefully. I could see that happening. Some people needed to be quiet. I could see that happening. And some people still needed to run around like a chicken with their head cut off because they fed on the excitement of it and the danger of it. And it was very interesting to just really kind of witness everybody's choice in this happening. So I found it pretty cool. I do have 1 or 2 extra jugs of water in case anybody needs them. And that's about it. So it taught a lot of things. Now, on the feng shui side of it, it actually opened areas that I could look at from a point of view of what has changed. So first I always look within myself, what's changed within me. And indeed, that it was a big change for me to not try to change the storm, manipulate it, fix it, help it, heal it, save it. Done. Gone. And it's like I lost about 300 pounds. I didn't exactly have that much to lose, but I felt like, wow, that's a weight off my shoulders. And then actually, physically, okay, so it blew stuff on my patio. My patio is so sparkling, so happy right now, because as soon as I could open the doors correctly, without wind blowing through the entire apartment, oh man, I got right out there. The patio is not only sparkling clean, it's all rearranged, it's got a whole new consciousness, makes me happy just to think about it. And once you start changing one thing, oh man, yesterday I spent changing my entire bedroom, move this, do that, clean this, throw this out. One of the things, and I've said on the air before, I am a bookie. I got a library that doesn't quit. Well, because of this great storm, my consciousness is so shifted that I am getting rid of a truckload worth of old consciousness thinking that served me well for the past 30, 40 years. Done. And it's such a happy feeling, and it gives you energy. So please, sweep your porch, rake the leaves, do whatever you got to do, and ask the essence of the storm, which is one with your essence, what now? What kind of a creator do you and I want to become? Because it's gone on to create